Good afternoon, I am Precious Mzeya Sakaleji. Welcome to Camnet TV Midday News. The headlines. Dr. TASILA TEMBO'S alleged killer committed to High Court for trial. MUMBA accuses his political enemies of setting him up in the Republic of Congo following his partial detention. Details coming through in the following.
Hello, have you heard about MUMBA? Do you know that you can advertise for as low as 150 kwacha for 30 seconds? Well, MUMBA is here. Advertise on MUMBA between 17 hours and 18 hours. Just tell us about the services that you offer and we'll gladly put you on the market. For more details, you can contact
+260 953 995099. +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467.
MUMBA, allowing your business to grow.
And now the media news in detail. Movement for Multi-Party Democracy MMD President MUMBA has accused his perceived political enemies of being behind his partial detention in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Dr. MUMBA explains to the nation at a media briefing in Lusaka that he has a dossier of names of people behind his ordeal in the DRC. He explains that the people behind his partial detention in the country are from a named political party which he did not mention but could only hint that they are powerful people in society. The MMD president has also implicated his business partners as being among those who want to harm him. Dr. MUMBA has meanwhile refused ever being detained, as he explains that the Congolese government only restricted his movement only to his hotel room. Details in the following report.
The leader of the Movement for Multi-Party Democracy, Dr. MUMBA, has disclosed that he is not afraid of death and the God he saves will always protect and defend him. The opposition leader said this after he made some allegations that some of his business and political opponents are trying to harm him.
The question is that of interest. What was this all about? It became absolutely clear to me that allegations were fed to the DRC investigative wings by powerful people who had planned that I be charged with treason and possibly face its penalty of death. It is for this reason that I declared a fast on Friday, December 11, 2020, not necessarily just for spiritual reasons. I just said I'm not going to eat until my government comes to rescue me. We are determined to ensure that people responsible for lying to the DRC government about me are tracked down. It's important that they are tracked down. We are determined to ensure that people responsible for lying to the DRC government about me are tracked down. It's important that they are tracked down. The good news is that I'm here with you today. The bad news is that these killers are still out there. And if they could not get me in the first plan they had, they may be wanting to think of what to do next.
Dr. MUMBA denies ever being arrested by the Congolese government during his visit in Congo, but that he was merely restricted and was released immediately after he was cleared. The MMD leader has since thanked everyone that was involved in facilitating his release.
To understand that Congo is a nation that is not free from internal wars and things like that. So sometimes you might think that you are arrested by the government forces when you're actually captured by rebel groups. And so I had to wonder in my mind, is this a legitimate arrest? Or is it something that is going to take me into Kivu amongst rebels? The truth is, I was never arrested. I was only restricted. And I saw.
Meanwhile, the opposition leader has expressed concern at the manner in which the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, is creating tension in the country.
And on ECZ and voter registration, MMD remains deeply concerned at the reckless speed that ECZ is taking towards creating unnecessary conflict in the nation beyond 2021. Again, as MMD has said consistently, the success of ECZ can only be by consensus, involvement of stakeholders in coming up with an electoral process that is acceptable to all.
Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
In other news, Director of Public Prosecutions DPP has given express instructions to Lusaka Magistrate Chiwawula Chinuda to commit a Zambia Army officer who is alleged to have killed a prominent Zambian medical practitioner, Dr. TASILA, to High Court for commencement of trial. Details in the following report.
Lieutenant Niger Mwamba, accused of brutally killing his girlfriend after a misunderstanding, made his appearance before the Lusaka's Magistrate Court this morning. Mwamba, who has spent almost 20 days in custody since his arrest, was immediately committed to the Lusaka High Court upon the court receiving instructions from the Director of Public Prosecutions. The lieutenant is facing a serious allegation of murder, which is contrary to Section 200 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia. Earlier, when Lieutenant Mwamba appeared before Magistrate Chiwawula Chinuda for explanation of the charge, he made an application that the court orders that he seek for medical attention, saying he could not hear properly as his ears were bleeding following the incident that occurred whilst he was in detention. He said, according to a medical personnel who attended to him at Skanze Clinic, his ears was infected, and when his lawyers and family requested for the said medical report, the police officers allegedly tore it apart. The allegations are that Lieutenant Mwamba, on dates unknown, but between 24 and 26 October 2020, murdered Dr. TASILA Tembo after a bitter quarrel. The two were in a relationship. After killing his girlfriend, Mwamba left her body in Nanking Army Training Center in Mikango Barracks, where he covered it with leaves. After spending days running, the accused was later apprehended at Memorial Park, where he had gone to visit the gravesite of the woman he once loved and killed. He is expected to appear in the Lusaka High Court soon for his trial. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
The ruling Patriotic Front PF says there is change of political wind in Western Province. PF Deputy Secretary General Mumbi says the Westerners are geared to vote for PF due to the numerous development initiated in the province by her party, which is currently in government. She explains that the citizens in the province have realized that the only party to work with is the PF and not any other party. Ms. Piri bases her party's popularity on the increased number of councillors in the province from 16 in 2016 and 30 as of now, following endless by-elections held in the province. Ms. Piri said this in an interview ahead of the PF's provincial party elections.
People of Western Province are really excited, and I would love to send this message to all other political parties to practice the tenets of democracy in their own organizations as political parties. And I'm so excited that as I've been here, Western Province, from Southern Province, I came to Western Province, the mood of the people has really changed. In case you didn't know, when we went to the 2016 election, we only had 16 councillors here in Western Province. But as I speak to you, with the by-elections which have been going on, we have 30 councillors in total. And the people are geared for the vote in 2021 because, according to them, they have been labeled to be corrupt by other political parties, because we have heard other political parties saying the people who are voting for PF in the councillorship, the MPs like Chilanga, the other areas where we didn't have seats, it's because they've been bought with a piece of silver, and that has really upset them, because the people of Western Province are saying they can't sing solo to be bought to give PF a vote. So they are very geared, and I'm excited as the Deputy Secretary General of this party.
Our civic Duty Association of CEDA has appealed to all eligible voters in the country who will fail to register in the ongoing voter registration exercise to forward their details to the association. OCEDA Administrative Secretary Simon Kabanda has told Camnet News in an interview that this is in order to lobby the Electoral Commission of Zambia (ECZ) to extend the voter registration exercise further. Mr. Kabanda says ECZ can only be convinced that several potential voters have not been captured in the exercise if there is enough evidence. He says he is convinced that several potential voters will be left out, hence the more reason the association is embarking on collecting details of all those eligible voters who will not be captured in the ongoing exercise.
Because of the many challenges being encountered in the voter registration exercise, by the end of the exercise itself, a lot of people are going to be left out. But we will still appeal to the ECZ to consider those people who will have been left out by Sunday, which is the last day. And for this reason, we are appealing to the electorate countrywide who have failed to register as voters, not because of their own making, but because of the challenges that are being experienced in the process. They should get in touch with our Civic Duty Association, OCEDA. What we are doing as OCEDA is that we are compiling lists of people who have failed to register as voters in various parts of the country. As OCEDA is that we are compiling lists of people who have failed to register as voters in various parts of the country. So we are appealing to people who have failed or who will have failed by Sunday to register as voters to get in touch with OCEDA. Just send we just need your name and your location of residence. Name and location of residence to 0761 20 6353. 0761 20 6353. That is the number to send the information to.
Well, that news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Midday News, but before we go, the headlines once again. Dr. TASILA, TEMBO'S alleged killer, committed to High Court for trial. MUMBA accuses his political enemies of setting him up in the Democratic Republic of Congo following his partial detention. Thank you for joining me. I am Precious Mzeya Sakaleji. Compliments of the season and good afternoon.